In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm living my life, just surviving.
I
That's
feel
why we got to survive. It's another depression.
Yeah, it is.
We've been through a few now, so it's nothing new for us.
It's nothing new, yeah. Just another
Unfortunately,
year.
it's another 5 years, yeah. In another 5 years, I'm almost positive something absolutely crazier than this event
is going to happen, yeah.
Because right now we're on a roll.
We are. We definitely are.
We got the big Rona. She's doing she's doing numbers.
Yep.
She's putting up big gains.
She is.
Having a great off season. And now we got murder hornets coming. Have you heard about those?
In our state. As if our state is not hit enough by the coronavirus, we now have to deal with murder
That's
hornets.
the newest expansion pack of 2020.
Such a fun thing.
God just keeps on gifting us.
He does. He's
really
good does. He's like
to us.
I feel like we're Sodom and Gomorrah, Washington State.
Yeah.
God is unleashing his wrath upon us.
Well, speaking of God being good to a group of people,
Yes.
Branch Davidians.
Welcome back to our TV Tuesday edition. If you haven't noticed already by the title, we are reviewing the Waco series on Netflix.
That came out 3 years ago?
2 years ago, but somehow it's like super trending on Netflix now. So we decided to do
but
this
everything's
one.
super trending on Netflix now because people don't have anything to do.
It's true. You got to watch something.
Absolutely. But yeah, we're just now getting into it.
Yep.
And it's actually the first miniseries, the first series or dramatization of the Waco siege, which is crazy to me.
Crazy. You figured this would have been one of the first things someone did.
Yeah.
But no.
Because it was such a massive, we should talk about the Waco siege for people that don't know.
Yes.
Giant operation. It was pretty much a war zone. I would call it absolutely waging war on a group of people.
American citizens.
Yes.
Too, on top of that.
79 people died, including 20 children.
25 children.
I've seen 20s, and I've also seen it say that 80 people died. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if one guy got cancer or something like a year later and treated. But that blows my mind.
It is insane. In just the complete overreach.
The overreaction.
The overreaction, yeah. But then the overreach of like doing this to American citizens too.
It should never. Not on, unless it's actually war, unless we're waging a war.
Course.
And, it's those fucking Southerners again. They're rising up. Then that's the only time you should see events like this. But that is all. I mean, I'm kind of a Waco nerd just because I love Colts. Mm-hmm. Love them.
Of course. I love them too, dude. I love studying about them. I've watched so much Jonestown.
I watched a lot of Jonestown.
Just footage and stuff about how crazy that was.
A lot of Krishna.
Yep.
A lot of those.
And we do listen
Charles
to the
Manson,
same podcast
absolutely,
too,
yeah.
that has the Waco series was really good from the last podcast on the left. They did a series on this.
The Children of God, all
Children
those
of
guys.
God,
yeah. Love it.
It's fun. It's fun.
I love that some guy can be so charismatic, he can make you give up everything you've ever fucking had. Make you cut ties with every relationship you ever had. It's just unbelievable. But for people that don't know Branch Davidians, they're a sector of just another one of these crazy fucking Christian offshoots.
Yeah, based off a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes.
That have turned...
Which is if you don't know Seventh-day Adventists, they're pretty hardcore
They
already.
are hardcore. My grandfather was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, I have an aunt and uncle that are Seventh-day Adventists. And oh my God, are they...
They're very to the book.
They're fucking absolutely.
Yes.
They take the Bible completely literally.
Literally. Yeah.
Imagine that Branch Davidians. They said you guys aren't hardcore enough. They said this is just too you're letting it too easy.
Loosey-goosey. we got to focus in on what this word actually says.
So they did another sect of Branch Davidians that was just, I mean, I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at it.
There are.
You can absolutely be on the side of David Koresh.
You can, from a legal standpoint.
Because these people were doing nothing wrong.
They were
besides, he liked to have multiple underage wives.
Yes, but
Texas law.
As much as like it's wrong. But if we're looking specific, and I think it's wrong, obviously you should not marry a 14-year-old. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You should have changed that law 200, 300 years ago.
Well, they changed it like 4 years ago.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's Texas.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Yes. Texas and France are similar in their marriage laws.
But if you were just looking specifically just by the law, this was an egregious act.
Oh, yeah.
Like by the book. This was just completely egregious by the FBI.
I believe there's good, there's wrong, and the law. And I think they're all separate. Even though it's lawful does not mean it's right.
It's right, exactly. And that's also the point I'm trying to make, too.
Even though you're breaking the law, people break the law for all the wrong reasons all the time. It's just that's the way I think it should be looked at on a case-to-case basis. We try to do it broad over everything. Yeah. So anyone doing anything, if you're breaking the law for that reason, you're getting in trouble. But he had multiple wives.
He did.
Not great.
Not a good look. No.
He had multiple underage wives.
He did.
But in Texas law, you're allowed to marry at 14.
Which is wild.
As long as the parents
consent.
In what fucking world are you consenting for your 14-year-old daughter to have sex with a 40-year-old?
I don't understand it. And then to put it in perspective, that 14-year-old could have a daughter. She turns 14, and she could be a grandmother.
Yes.
By 28 years old.
Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah. It's back ass Texas.
It's
wacky.
It's weird, man.
It's just Texas.
It's a weird thing.
They just removed that law. The craziest thing to me is an older man can marry a 14-year-old, but two 14-year-olds can marry.
Yeah.
And it'll be fucking, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Two 14-year-olds, 14 is just too young in my mind.
You know what? I think for pretty much everyone, it's too young.
Yeah. Well, not for David Koresh.
No, not for that man.
But he was the prophet.
Yes, he was the Messiah.
He was the Messiah. And again, Branch Davidians, they take, like any evangelical, they take the Bible word for word as literal.
Literal.
So 7 seals, all that shit. Because David, he had to have 24 wives for 24 kids.
Correct.
Because he had to have those guys were going to be the council or whatever they said in Hebrew or whatever. So he's fucking everyone.
He is.
But a lot of the wives, that's the thing about a cult. It's pick and choose. A lot of the wives, they're a little old. Some of the old people, some of them are a little too young. Uh-huh. He just went for it.
Yeah.
You know, and you just, I don't know if you can admire him for it, but he got a lot of charisma.
He must have. He must have been a smooth talker to be able to do something like that.
Oh, he was. That's how any of those. But
the thing is actually like, as much as we talk shit about David Koresh, but he was actually just on paper, he was a very intelligent man. He really did have the Bible memorized.
Yeah.
And basically word for word. And through that was able to manipulate people into doing what exactly he wanted them to do in the way that he interpreted the Bible.
Absolutely. I mean, he knew one thing. If you were to dedicate your life to Lord of the Rings fan fiction or whatever, you could know everything. You still wouldn't call me a genius.
No.
You wouldn't say, man, that guy's got something else going on. But, because, he did know it absolutely, and he did know it to where he can manipulate people. Mm-hmm. But he did it in a way where it's just like Manson. They say Manson could talk to anyone, whether you be the president, whether you be poor on the street. He talked to you exactly the same as anyone, and that gives him some kind of power.
Side note, only 30-second question. Joe Rogan had the guy who spent 20 years investigating that. You got to listen. Tom O'Neill, I believe was his name.
Manson? Or David Koresh?
Investigating, Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that is involved with that dude, it is wild.
I know quite a bit.
He was in special, groups and stuff after he got arrested, and he was shipped off to, New Mexico to be with a certain parole officer. It gets really weird.
Well, like Manson.
Really weird.
David Koresh, also a musician.
He was a musician.
Something about cult leaders.
They love their music.
They're always failed musicians.
Mm-hmm.
They always go.
they're-
For some reason, cult leader is like your backup plan. Like, let it be your number one.
This music thing don't work out. You know, we're gonna
Same
start a
thing,
cult.
but man, I don't know if anyone's linked that, but I mean, failure is always something common from all these cult leaders. They fail huge, and then their backup is running a cult.
Yep. I mean, look at Hitler too. Hitler was
yeah.
a failed artist.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. There's something
Yeah, it
similar,
really is.
and
There's
something
a-
similar about children having too much time on their hands young. Because David Koresh, he was ostracized. He was bullied constantly.
And allegedly raped at
Allegedly
a very young,
gang raped by multiple boys.
at
So
like
he
8 years
spent
old or something.
all his time just thinking about these imaginary things. Same thing as Joseph Smith of Mormonism.
Yes.
He was bedridden as a kid. So he was just stuck in bed thinking of religions. It's these things where it's like,
When he was
you
a great
can't
con
allow
artist too.
Exactly. Well, any cult
Is
leader
a
is a
con
con
artist.
artist. Yeah, I mean... But yeah, it's the same exact thing. There's something similar with these kids having so much time on like being bedridden, where they're just coming up with ways of like manipulating, even at a very young age. You see that it's common with kids to do that. I mean, it's fucking weird with me, but
Well, and
He
even
was-
like as a child too, your imagination is so much more vivid as a child.
Yeah.
And it slowly does kind of eat away and go away. But if you can really like hone down on your imagination at a young
you
age,
can build
do
at a very
anything.
young age. You can build, and that's what
Yes.
these guys did.
Yep.
So much time they had an answer for everything.
Everything.
Let's get into it. Episode
do
1,
this.
Visions and Omens. Starts off 9 months before the big siege. David Koresh, he's fucking jamming.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the cast.
Oh,
What a
it's
great cast.
star-studded.
Some of them. Julia Garner, Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
The guy who played David Koresh is Taylor
Taylor
Kish.
Kish.
He was also in season 2 of True Detective.
Yes, he was.
Season 2 or 3.
Season
I think
two.
it's season 2.
Season 2. He was also he has done some of the worst movies. I mean, he's great, but he's got to
And
fire.
I thought he was great.
He's
in
got to
this.
fire his agent.
Yeah.
Because he has
For some
done
of the
X-Men
things.
Origins.
Yep.
Worst X-Men. Battleship. Do you remember that movie?
Nope, never saw it. Never saw John Carter.
John
either.
Carter, huge fucking bust at
Was
the box
he the
office.
lead in John?
Yep.
He was.
Yep. I saw that
Wow.
in theaters.
I never saw that.
Savages was fucking horrible. Oliver Stone, horrible.
Lone Survivor
Wasn't
was
bad.
good.
Wasn't
yeah,
bad.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I liked it.
But yeah, he's great. But he's got the worst agent, I think, is just greenlighting him to
Getting
do
him-
every.
yeah.
Of course, he's getting paid through all these, but his movies are bad.
yeah. But I was actually impressed with the way he played David Koresh in this.
He
I
did a
thought
great
nailed
job.
it.
He did a
Yeah.
great job, absolutely.
But to go on more, Paul Sparks, which I love Paul Sparks in anything. Like, he's great. Shay,
Wingham,
Wiggum, yeah. Which,
he's good. And
He's
Michael
awesome.
Shannon and him like almost have like a partnership.
yeah, they do.
They're
Where
almost
they
in
work,
every-
Yeah, they always work together.
But they work so well off each other. They're
Uh-huh.
always playing like opposites.
They are.
They got to be. I don't know anything about it, but they got to be good friends in real life. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Shannon. You know me about Michael Shannon, man. I got the biggest man crush in the world from Michael Shannon.
Dude, I love anything he's in. I'm like, I got to watch it.
He's so good.
That's
in
why I
this
was so
too.
glad you
Yeah.
showed me Take Shelter.
Oh, take
That
shelter.
was,
Well,
it's
we gotta
so
watch
good.
Midnight Special at some point
Mhm.
because I'm pretty sure Shay Wingham is in Midnight Special
Imagine
also. So
that.
we've gotta watch it. It's such a good sci-fi.
And
movie.
then Rory Culkin is in this.
Yeah, can we just talk about out of Against All Odds, the Culkin family has become an acting dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah, exactly. They become like the
From the
Hemsworth.
worst parents in the world.
Yeah.
But Rory Culkin, McCory Culkin, and he's got like two other brothers that
Mhm.
I've seen both in things.
Yep. I know, and I was like, man, he looks like I can never say his first name. What's his brother's first name? Culkin's?
Macaulay.
Macaulay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on Rogan's
They
podcast
all
a while ago,
look
too.
Exactly like
They do.
They all
do.
look
They're very
so-
similar.
Karen Culkin is the other one.
Mhm.
And he's been in, look at Laura, you see his picture. They're the same
They're
people.
the same people.
They're just
yeah, they all look
wearing
the
wigs.
same. All the brothers look the same, man. But
But Rory's the
he played
youngest one.
David Thibodeau, and
Yeah.
you can actually find interviews still to this day. Thibodeau has put on some weight.
Has he?
And oh god, he's like 300 or 400 pounds.
Well, as anyone
But-
being 50 years
Of
old by
course,
now.
yeah. But he's done a lot of interviews and stuff about like the Waco
Yeah.
situation.
Well,
and-
spoiler alert, he gets out okay.
oh, he does.
Now you're ruining it for him.
Well, you know what? This is a 27-year-old,
And it's an
case.
actual event, so
Yeah,
you should know. by
should
now.
know your history.
It doesn't end well for Branch Davidians.
It does not. No.
But okay,
I mean, we did spoil it at the beginning. 79 dead.
I was kidding. If you don't know how, you don't know how Waco ended. I mean,
Right.
I don't think they would be making a series about it if it ended with everyone like, all right, we're,
We're
good.
good. Let's just FBI. We'll just call them back.
Yeah, this ain't
we've
working
taken
for
it too
anybody.
far.
But, okay, 9 months before the siege, David Koresh, he's peaking.
He is.
Everyone's fucking into it. He's at Mount Carmel in beautiful Waco, Texas. The scenery of that fucking dry desert. Oh, my God. It'd make you join a cult.
It would.
Anything to get away from there. But, yeah, so we see him performing. He performs in a cover band, of course.
Of course, you got to.
If
And
you're
he
joining
sings
a
My
cult and there's
Sharona.
no musical element in it, you're not in a good cult. Because every cult has a singing circle or
fucking tambourines.
if you're in a cult and they're like, no singing, maybe it's actually the right cult.
It might be the cult you want to join.
But, yeah, Judy Schneider, one of Koresh's many wives, learns she's pregnant.
Yes.
Doesn't fare well
With
Mark.
Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Who's
played by Paul Sparks.
Who's Judy Schneider's
husband.
And
but
like the second
not allowed to have sex with his wife.
What's crazy is this guy was it just shows you again how smart, quote, smart David Koresh was. This guy was a professor in theology, literally professor in religion.
Yes.
And he got this guy to believe that he was Jesus.
The I don't remember the character's name, but the black guy in this too went to Harvard. You remember?
He was a
In
lawyer.
the very beginning, he was a lawyer. Like, to be a lawyer going to Harvard, like, these weren't dumb people. They were very intelligent.
But it just shows you that anyone can join a cult without knowing.
Without knowing that you've joined a cult.
Because everyone says, I could never join a cult. Everyone that's ever joined a cult at some point was like, there's no way I could join a cult. Like that kid, there's no way. They could never be me. Everyone says that, and then it fucking ends up them.
Yep.
You know, someone's that convincing, it's just hard not to give him all your money and let him fuck your wife.
Yeah. Wayne was his name in the show. Yeah. Wayne.
So things are going good for David. He's got a few kids on the way. He's got a few wives. Pretty good. He's got a shit ton of guns.
I gotta say, like, hats off to him to do just the hardest thing ever, and to take on the moral responsibility for sex for all the men in the house.
Cult like how do you not know? I blame not having the internet. And these people not learning about other cults. Like,
yes. It is true.
It's just so, I mean, because
it's a big thing.
Well, because every cult follows a formula to the T.
Yeah.
Get you in, make you feel great, and then cut you off from everything, so you have to rely on the cult. So you're giving them anything.
And it's not just like a straight cut. It's just like they take a little bit at a time.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
A little bit at a time. Before you even know what the hell's going on, you're completely immersed into this cult.
We see because it happens to fucking Thibodeau,
David, for sure.
Yeah. So that's going on. He's got wives. Again, that puts Steve at an awkward position.
Yeah, it does.
But again, none of them are fucking. David's being the good guy.
Is it safe to say that every single man in this house, other than David Koresh, is a cuck?
Yes. Although I don't think they're watching. Though he should let them.
He
if
should.
You're fuck my wife, let me,
I mean, let him do the weird thing in the corner, you know? I mean, give me something. Some sort of gratification.
But they are cucks.
They are.
Well, I think I could call any guy in a cult a cuck.
You could. You could.
But so meanwhile, the FBI is negotiating at another just wonderful, just beautiful piece of Americana, if I can call it.
Oh, you can. You can. And this is Ruby Ridge, another famous case. It didn't end so well.
It's such a wild. I mean, I say it's a wild time, but it's always happened. Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah.
Just government agencies fucking things up. You know, they can't. I don't know what they're doing, but it's like they're on a goal to be the biggest fuck up.
Yeah.
Like when they're like negotiating in like Waco, and it's Michael Shannon character, and he's trying to like everything's working out. No one's dying. But the guys in the back, they're like, we gotta fucking kill someone.
Right.
Like,
we gotta do
here?
something.
Like we can't just let them talk. Like why not? No one's dying at this moment. Let them talk forever.
Right. Just let it keep going. In every single time, Michael Shannon was so close.
It's a pride thing.
Is.
It's like these guys, but it is. It's like these guys take it personal, and we're like, they want to go in and kill all these kids.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit about the kids at all. Like they're like, let's just siege the building, and it's like, what do you? Relax, calm down.
Crazy.
Quit taking your testosterone pills.
So Ruby Ridge, that's Randy Weaver.
Yep.
And it was this,
and he was later acquitted too.
He got $3.1 million.
Yes.
That's what happens when someone snipes your wife.
Right. Great shot.
Great shot. That guy is a pretty famous sniper because he was murder charged for that sniper shot. Yeah. It was unnecessary, they say, because he went for the kill for Randy and the kill for his neighbor. But you're not. That's it. You know, you don't just keep shooting randomly if you're a fucking sniper. It's But yeah, so that happens. Ruby Bridge, big fuck up.
Yep.
ATF, because ATF is a story, but it's just crazy because you can follow these events and they all end with the Oklahoma City bombing, the worst domestic terrorism act in the world. But it all started with the ATF because this got every fucking militia group in the world. In the military, angry in any right ring, in anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, necessarily
I think just
so.
Americans in general, like
Ruby Ridge was one where I don't think anyone was on the side of the FBI, which was really fucking bad for the FBI.
Yeah, it was not a good look.
But I love it when he's like, make sure all these things say ATF around here.
The barriers.
I don't want them to know we had anything to do with this. That's crazy. Crazy you have government agencies working against each other like they're fucking rival football teams.
Well, and that's a common theme too, man. I mean, you know the whole 9/11 thing. Like there were different government agencies that had information, but none of them would give information to each other. That could have been prevented.
I know it's crazy. Yeah,
it's like what we're working for one common goal.
I know.
Like what are you letting politics get? I mean, literal like governmental politics getting in the way.
They don't care. It's crazy.
It's gross.
So 6 months later, after Ruby Ridge, after the colossal fuck up that is Ruby Ridge, that's already started. Everyone's gearing up because they think the government's gonna come and wipe out everyone. So everyone's gearing up now. The ATF, they were heavily criticized.
They were,
but and they lost
funding,
a bunch of funding. Where I don't understand that either. It's like a company's doing bad and you defund them. Like, what is that going to make them do? They're going to do something desperate.
To really try to get more funding again.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but the FBI, the main guy, Shea Wingham, what's his name? Gary.
Gary is
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Let me
Mitch.
find it real.
Mitch Decker. He gets a fucking promotion.
Yeah.
For telling the guy, and he was the one who gave the sniper the okay to start killing people. And what you even know about Ruby Ridge is Randy Weaver, his 13-year-old son, died also.
He did.
Right at the fucking start, which is just crazy, dude. And the guy was a vet.
He was a former Green Beret.
They got him for selling sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah. It's just so, it's such a... Like, even if you look at, like, the Waco situation, the whole reason why they sieged them, those guns were bought legally, but they thought that they had a modification to the guns, which would have been a $25 permit.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were buying. Yeah. Well, the big thing is it's such a weird, it's stockpiling. You know, you can have an inventory, but you can't stockpile.
Right.
But because what they were doing was legal. They were selling guns at gun shows. So they had a ton of guns because they were selling. That was their main way of making money. They did get them for the grenade pieces, which was legit.
Yep.
And they did, and they were buying AR-15 modifications to make them light, which everyone fucking buys.
Exactly. And that was the issue that I had because again, it states that you can buy a special permit that back then would have cost $25 and it would have been completely okay. It would have been completely legal. I just think it's just ridiculous that all of this had to happen over those two small things. I'm not saying they shouldn't be charged
the show kind of glazes over too because before this, David and another guy got in a really big fight and the guy was like, I'm going to fucking, you'll rule the day. So the guy started going around everywhere and it never shows the guy in the show, but
it doesn't.
But he went to agencies and he was also telling them about David and the kids.
He was. And the guy was just mad because he wasn't the leader.
And he said that David was molesting the kids as well.
He did say that.
And there was one girl that came out and said that David did molest her when she was 10 years old.
Yep.
But a lot of her own family, I don't want to say she was wrong, but her own family never believed it.
No.
And she changed. And even the sheriff, who was just a regular guy, he wasn't part of who we see all the time.
Yep.
He said it was super unreliable because she kept changing her story. But again,
he went out and
he was legitimately married to a 14-year-old.
He was.
So we can't forget that either.
Right, no.
And he was legitimately saying he was the second coming and that there was end times were going to come and that they were going to have to fight.
And that he was the prophet, the Messiah that was going to bring
Which to me,
times.
It doesn't sound like it's going to end well either way.
No.
I mean, it did have to happen like this. It may have happened in a suicide or something like that. But it is scary when a cult does have a lot of weapons because you don't want Jonestown.
No, you don't.
And that's what everyone is trying to stop at this point. They're so scared of another Jonestown happening. Because you don't want that. You don't want this giant group moving down to Ghana,
but at the same
forcing
time,
everyone at gunpoint to.
Based on the information I have, I really don't believe these people, and not based on the TV show, just based on like just the research and like listening to the last podcast on the left and who these people were. I don't see them. I don't believe that was a mass suicide. I don't.
What?
That it was tear gas that was in flammable.
Oh, for Waco?
Yeah.
Oh no, no. I mean, it's hard to say, but yeah, I mean, they were fucked anyways. You know, they didn't want to do that anyways. I mean, they would. If it was mass suicide, they weren't going to kill themselves then and there. Mm-mm. It was started by the ATF, but I mean, they might have been doing it later on, but it wouldn't have been that messy either. Shitty to say, but you don't want mass suicide even because it's never mass suicide. It's forced suicide when you have a bunch of guns around,
right?
And no one. I mean, even if you say you don't want to drink the punch, they're like, you're probably gonna drink the punch.
Yeah. Well, because that's what Jonestown did. They shot some of those people who wouldn't drink it.
That's exactly why there's most of them. They say were at gunpoint. Mm-hmm. So it's a tough situation to handle in America because you're like, you don't, but the people of Waco love these people. They said they were great. They say they weren't doing anything wrong. Fuck, there's cults all around, man. Why is the ATF knocking down fucking Scientology? They're kidnapping people. They're doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
they're just
the
not
horror
stockpiling
stories
guns.
you hear. Yeah, that's the thing.
Just be kind of, you just can't. But
You just
again,
can't own too
inventory.
many guns.
You can't. But he did at the time. They owned 250 guns, but they had 30.
They had 130 people.
They had 130 people.
So that's like a gun and a half, 2 guns per person.
Yeah, gun and a slingshot.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But of course, they were counting the kids too, and I'm sure there's not kids that are owning
Just
multiple
armed to the
weapons.
T with the going out shooting.
But they own 130 people in that little tiny fucking compound or whatever. Yeah. That's the craziest part to me.
Yeah. But that was a fairly big compound.
Not they're all 130 people.
I mean, they're all bunking up with each other, but still.
It 100% was probably not a great environment for the kids. That's the big thing. I mean, and they had David Koresh, who did not care how old you are to take you on as a wife.
It's good, true.
But he started out, I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but he started out forcing the guy before that was the head of the Branch Davidians. He was a prophet also. Mm-hmm. They got into a gunfight, and David eventually ended up kicking that guy out. That guy got crazy, killed someone. But that's how he got into the Branch Davidians, is he powered that guy through guns. Right. So, I mean, ATF was probably looking at that, too, and be like, he has a history of...
Yeah. Well, by no means,
he didn't get in trouble
David
for that.
Koresh is he a good person at all.
No, he's manipulating everyone.
Definitely.
And we see, and the show does a good job of showing that.
It does.
So, that's pretty much episode 1. That's how it in ATF, they receive words of the shipment because ATF, now they want to do something big. They say that. I got to do something big, something because we just look stupid at Ruby Ridge.
Yep.
So, episode 2, strangers across the street with the surveillance team, ATF agent Jacob Vasquez. This is something that's so stupid, and I don't think they did it. I don't think they ever sent anyone in because it's so
on the nose, too.
So, I mean, even for ATF, I'm like, they're dumb.
Right.
But, I mean, they're not, like, comically bad.
No.
But yeah, they send up a guy, and it's John Leguizamo, which is fucking awesome. He's good in everything.
He's awesome.
Yeah. He disguises himself, and he takes him like 2 seconds, and David's already kind of convincing him to join the cult.
Yeah,
I mean, it
takes
takes
come on, bring it in.
Zero time at all. Absolutely.
Well, he brings him pizza and beer.
And he talks about his mom, remember?
Yep.
His mom has got dementia and whatnot, which are what cult leaders are good at doing. They're good at targeting the thing that makes you weakest and exploiting it.
Yep.
So, so he's in there. He's disguised. He says he's a rancher, doesn't know anything about ranching. It's pretty dumb. David knows everything about ranching, of course.
Which you would figure if you're going to go undercover and pretend to be a rancher.
And you're in West Texas.
Look at a Wikipedia page.
I mean, everyone fucking knows about ranching in Texas. So they're doing that. They already know Jacob's true intentions. And but David's like, yeah, invite him in. And all the rest of the people, they're like, David, no. That guy's ATF.
Clearly.
They're like, yeah. But David thinks that he can fucking turn anyone. He even says that I can turn it.
Well, I mean, he's just so delusional in his head that I honestly believe there were times where David Koresh believed he was the Messiah. Because when you have 130 people around you who all believe you're the Messiah and you don't have that outside world telling you that you're fucking crazy, at some point he's got to believe it.
I think 100% he believes it. Yeah. I think any cult leader truly does believe in what they're preaching.
Well, and I think that's
doesn't mean
why,
that they're
too,
right.
that he was so delusional that he thought he could.
The video.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
Right.
that was boring as shit, David.
Yeah, like,
no
come
one
on,
wanted.
man.
What do you think? Like, we haven't heard that a million times. That's any Southern preachers telling you about the end of times,
Yes.
man. They're not turning me. But, yeah, we'll get into that. But, so that goes on. And they know the ATF and the child services are kind of on their way.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to marry off one of the child wives.
Which is Julia Garner.
Yeah, they got to
who's
mail
also
off.
in Ozark. And let's talk about her performance too, real quick, because the strike contrast between her in Ozark and her in this.
It's pretty good, yeah. Well,
Awesome.
she's playing a kid in this.
Yeah.
And I always thought, man, she's so young, she could definitely fucking play a kid for like another
definitely.
10 years.
Yep.
But I'm glad that she doesn't rely completely on it, even though she does in this. She plays a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I thought that was a little young for her.
I don't know, dude. I always thought this chick looked so fucking young.
You know, she's 26.
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
I do know. I had to look it up season 1 of Ozarks because
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck? How old is this chick? Yeah, she's super young. But yeah, they marry her off
They do.
to Thibodeau,
Yep.
Culkin. And he's cool with
And he
that.
was cool with it because you saw that love connection between both of them early on.
Because this is like weeks now before the event. This is past the first. And yeah, they get married off and it's cool, but no fucking.
Nope.
It shows you how shitty David was at the wedding night when he's like, all right, let's go. And
Well,
he
how
goes and fucks her.
yeah, that was so shitty. Like, come on your wedding night, you're going to do that? However, before they got married, I love that scene between David Koresh and Thibodeau when they're on the roof, and he goes, "Do you think you can stay celibate while you're here?"
Yeah,
and
he's
and
like, "No."
Thibodeau's like, "No."
Yeah, some hotties here, dude.
He's like, "Come on, man. I mean, we'll take a look around.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?" And he was like, "No." But then eventually, David was able to manipulate him enough to agree to do this.
Yeah, it wasn't hard.
No.
It wasn't hard because he's been living there for years and whatever. And all the fucking, everyone was like, you got to see the miracles he's doing. Like, I didn't believe it till I saw it, but I didn't see a single fucking miracle then.
Nor did I. I didn't see
And I
him,
still haven't heard of
walking
very
on
many.
water or
Yeah, I
anything.
still haven't heard. But man, but it just added on to the ATF attacking because he's been preaching that forever. So it
Yes.
did not help with
No,
that.
it did not.
Because now you're really fucking in. So yeah, it's going down, and we see Gary, the FBI agent.
Yep.
He's struggling with Ruby Ridge. He might file a complaint, but he's struggling with any time that because he's a
FBI negotiator.
he's a negotiator.
Yes.
So every time you can tell that something bad goes, it's personal for him.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about this event because it's the back and forth between him and Wiggum.
Yep.
And because Wiggum's always going in their gun blazes, but they talk about event. What do they say? It's like Pottersville or something like that he brings up. And he's like, don't forget you were there too or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you know how that came down. Yep. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I looked it up and there's barely anything. But I looked it up. It is a real event. It was an event where, because he talks about it.
Yeah.
There's some guy holding his family in a farmhouse or whatever, and they convinced him to come out. And when they came out, they
He
shot
him. Yeah.
Brutal. But it's an actual event, and I kind of like that because I didn't know anything about the actual guy. But yeah, it's an actual event,
Well,
but there's
yeah, and they
very
talk
little
about-
bit about it.
Yeah, they talk about how and I love that scene too because they talk about how confused he was when he was shot after
Yeah.
it came out.
He said that was the look in his face of like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Which again, you get a guy to come out peacefully and then you shoot him.
Yeah.
I get it. If he's trying to run
I
back
know.
in,
Yeah, I know, but
I take the shot. But
Yeah.
don't take the shot when he's coming out and it's over.
not a thing of good and versus bad or whatever.
No.
It's just highest odds.
Yep.
That's all you got to do, man. You got to get the most amount of people. That's the whole thing with them exchanging milk for people. You just got to keep trickling people out one by one. It's a numbers game.
Yep.
You got to have more people survive than more people die.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that isn't what happened in Waco.
No.
And I feel like it's not anything that ever happens.
Well, and the saddest thing is like, the children dying too. Because, dude, when you're
Yeah, that's
raised in that
horrible,
and
yeah.
that's all you know,
Oh, yeah. You don't know
it's
any
not-
better.
The kids don't know any different, man. Like when you, from the time you were born, being brought up in the Branch Davidians, you would have no idea about the outside world.
Yeah,
at all.
that's my big thing. It's like these kids, they're happy and everything, and it's almost wrong to go take them away. But I'm torn by that. By like, they don't know any better, so obviously they don't know it's horrible.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just because even when they took the kids out, none of the kids would talk or anything like that because they all thought they were all raised to believe that these people were devil.
Well,
literally
exactly.
devil.
And when Gary went and talked to him,
Yeah.
to the one little girl that one time, she was like, "Are you going to kill me?"
Yeah.
That's, I mean, to hear that from a child, like, that's terrifying. That's scary, man. To think that, like, bringing these kids out and they think you're going to be the person to kill them.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad.
It's insane. Yeah, it's horrible. So again, the wedding goes through, and pretty much nothing happens. The Waco Tribune Herald, they released that big article calling David Koresh the sinful Messiah.
Yes.
Which are not fucking smart. And the media has such a large role to play in all these events.
Oh, God.
In anything, even like Columbine or anything. It's all...
The media showed up a half an hour early, and that's how the Waco, the Branch Davidians were tipped off, because the media showed up to their place a half an hour before the siege started.
Well, they knew even, I mean, it doesn't show in the show, but they knew even before that,
They did.
because ATF was calling them.
Uh-huh.
And David was talking to him, just telling him, come on down.
Yeah, come on down. Like, we're peaceful people.
And
Just
people in
come
the
on
background
down.
were like, David, we got a lot of guns, and you got a lot of young wives.
It's going to be a problem.
But yeah, that was the whole thing, was like, he just wanted everyone to come down.
He did.
He could turn anyone. That's because how he was fucking delusional. But yeah, they knew, because the ATF and Child Services were calling before that and were trying to talk to him and everything. But so that happens. They call him a sinful Messiah, and after the Davidians are tipped off, Vasquez is covered as blown, like it was fucking always blown.
Of course. From the first time he started talking about ranch, and they're like, this guy is completely and utterly full of shit.
What do they ask him? Like, how many cows per hectare can you
per
have? And
acre
he's
or
like,
whatever. He's like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, that's my brother handles the cows. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
But yeah, they know, and they know the raid's coming. But the ATF is still going forward. They say, hey, let's fucking do it. That's episode 2.
Yep.
Episode 3, Operation Showtime, is what they called the event. What a fucking
What a name. Operation Showtime. Oh, well, the show started, and it lasted 51 days. Hell of a show.
Do you know how long? The operation was supposed to last? They guessed it.
Wasn't it supposed to be like an hour or 2 hours?
21 minutes.
Jesus.
They thought they were going to go down there, get all this on tape. They're going to go down there and knock the door down and arrest everyone. 21 minutes.
And if you watch the original footage, they edited the fuck out of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, they get into it here, like
Yeah,
the video
they do,
missing.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's the worst editing ever.
Right. Well, because
There's so
you'll
many
watch
skips.
it-
I've tried to watch it a million times. There's so many skips in footage.
We're like, hold on, are the ATF guys shooting at themselves? Because you'll see like 3 of them go into the window, and then you'll see the other guy
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah.
from the window inside. The cut too, and you're like, what the
Well,
fuck
and
is
it'll be
this?
cut where like you'll see them, and they'll cut, and they're way like up here now or something. Like we're like, well, what the fuck happened here? Yeah, because they got the hand. The fact
got
that they
hands.
released anything, but yeah, they got the hands. But that's a crazy part when the guy's like, "You go ask for help." Like, aren't you with the help?
Yeah, he's like, you're the help. What are you talking? He's like, you guys
Who else
don't
do you
have a
call?
phone?
The fucking
Yeah.
the Pentagon. Like you drop a nuke on you. I don't know.
Sorry, I don't have a direct line to the president of the United States, man.
Are you gonna call the police?
Yeah, the
Like,
National Guard. Like, what the?
You go call for like, whoa, your bosses are here.
Yeah,
They're watching this shit. They don't know what to do. But
insane.
so episode 3 again, Operation Showtime. ATF agents, they show up to Mount Carmel in fucking full on war. They're in like cattle cars and fucking station wagons
Yep.
and shit, just piling on. They should have took 2 agents. They should have took 2 guys. They should have went, knocked on the door, got a warrant. Isn't that how it works?
That's what I thought, especially with again American citizens.
Search, find the guns, because they're not burying them. They're
No.
just in another room,
Right.
and finish it.
That's
Done.
all you. That's all you.
If
gotta
they
do.
shoot at you there, then it's go time.
Right. Of course.
Then it's go time. And they set up a war, then you know that they're not coming out peacefully or whatever. But send 2 guys tops. They were
But
just assuming that they were just hoping, begging that there'd be a big fucking war.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
At this time, I mean, dude, you don't send in 3 helicopters to fly from the tops and then
No.
shoot down on a freaking compound unless you really want to go to war.
Yeah, absolutely. So it just gets crazy. They just start shooting. It's a fucking it's a war zone. It's a legit war zone. Like a Middle East fucking Afghanistan. It's
Yep.
something that's just we're just think that we'd never see anything like it.
You want to hear something really fucked up too?
Sure.
So during this whole like raid and in the firing back and forth, right? After the raid was over, there was a Branch Davidian member who was killed. And he was like midway up a fence and he got stuck on the fence. They left an American citizen. They left him on the fence to rot for 5 days before they took his body off. I guess the dogs were even picking at him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to think they're scared to even go get him. I mean, because on both sides. From getting shot, you can't.
I mean, I get for the Branch Davidians, but if you're going to tell them, hey, we're going to get this body off to bury it, the Branch Davidians would have allowed them to do that.
Oh, yeah, probably, but they did not want to give the Branch Davidians anything. Yeah. That was the whole thing. It's like you can't show them any mercy because they won't show you any mercy. Like you're fighting the fucking Nazis or
I know,
something.
it's like, gee, dude, like...
These are literally regular people.
Yeah.
That guy was the guy holding the AK now was a professor a week ago. I mean, these aren't soldiers. That's the whole thing, is they were just thinking that everyone was a fucking soldier. So they're all expendable. But, so that, so the war zone, it happens. Ceasefire. David calls in. David's shot also.
Yep.
He calls into a local radio station, It's probably one of many in Dallas that's like the conspiracy style.
Yeah.
Like there's one in like the Northwest, but there's like 8 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Of the Alex Jones type of shit. But yeah, he calls him up and he's calling the guy on the broadcast live, which is fucking nuts.
Crazy.
And the FBI's like, what is happening?
Well, they end up cutting the phone lines.
They should have been cut immediately.
I know. I don't know why that wasn't an afterthought. That should have been.
Well, because remember they couldn't get too close or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you got to cut that. You got to take the risk.
You absolutely.
That's
need
the
to
one
take the
thing
risk.
you don't want that guy getting out, because you don't want people feeling sorry for him.
Yep.
Because then you got other people coming, and it's like Ruby Ridge when they're like, block the streets off. They're not getting out. Like, we're worried about people getting in. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the war that people fucking gearing up. Especially in Texas.
Yeah.
When most of the houses are made out of guns.
They are, literally.
It's not difficult.
They're just like made inside of the wall.
Take a piece of the wall and like, let's go to work. It's a dangerous place. It's a hotbed. So FBI, they take over negotiations. They send down Gary on a fucking plane. Say, get your ass down there. You're the goddamn best negotiator of all time, but
we're not going to allow you to negotiate.
Yeah, no. Never.
Never.
Ever. We're going to give you an hour.
Right, we're going to give
If
you
you
an
don't
hour.
have everyone walking out with their hands up in an hour, we're going guns blazing.
Full force. Don't care about the children.
Gary's like, let's not do that. Let's
He's
just time out for 1 second and let's think about this.
Yeah.
Let's just not do anything that you're talking about. The Abrams tanks you guys brought, just send them right back.
So unnecessary. What do you need tanks for? Ever? What do you need tanks for, man?
Bazookas?
Come on. And it's crazy because they actually brought tanks to Waco.
Yes, multiple tanks.
Multiple, like 3 or 4 of them.
Just a guy that he's like, I got a tank, let's use them. Like, they've been sitting around too long.
I just don't understand it. What are you going to do? Just shoot the house? Just blow up the compound with children? I don't know what the thought process was there at all.
It doesn't look good if you're inside and you're Branch Davidian and you're like, well, they don't look like they're doing it the peaceful way.
No.
They look like they're kind of escalating what's going on.
And that's the thing, too. There was so much misunderstanding from both sides.
Yeah.
Like, they had just painted these people as the villains, but then the Branch Davidians were confused, and then they they absolutely did paint the FBI as the villains as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because it's just so much military force, and then each other going back on their word, David Koresh going back saying he would come out if his message was put out there.
Yeah.
And then pulling that back, and then the FBI doing it 3 or 4 times to them. It's just like, and I love that too. The milk scene in this, where they send them in the milk. Actually, that might be 4 or 5.
Oh no, this is 3.
Yeah,
That's
is 3.
Yeah.
Well,
it's actually 4. We shouldn't
it is.
jump into it. It
so
is
never
4.
mind.
You're right. Yeah.
I thought it was 4. After I said that, I was like, I better not.
It is 4. I forgot I watched some of 4. Yeah, you're right. But that episode really just shows you that there's no good side. These are even the ATF. The lower guys that are on the front line shooting at him, those are just regular fucking guys.
They are. Yeah.
And they don't want to fucking, it's the guy at the top that's telling him. It's just bad for everyone. It's just something you hope to never, ever happen. And I really don't think it will happen again like this.
I really hope not.
I couldn't imagine.
No.
I couldn't.
Especially like American citizens. It's
Well, the closest thing I guess we had
baffles
was the Oregon thing.
that
the
standoff.
ranchers.
Yeah, the ranchers. Yep.
Which is another thing that you can contribute to the Ruby Ridge. It all goes back to that.
Yeah.
But so the battle takes place or whatever, and the FBI, they're hoping for a peaceful resolution. The FBI says we'll broadcast your message out live or to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And David says, if you do this, David, you'll come out. David says,
absolutely.
hell yeah, because David's thinking, fuck, when people hear this shit, they're gonna be banging on the door.
They are.
They're gonna be fucking.
My compound will go from 130 to 1,300.
You guys don't know what you just did.
Yeah.
Now I have an army. Not the case.
No, not the case. Majority of people thought it was crazy.
I guarantee, even if I was watching it in the time and I saw it come on, I would have flipped it. Even though it's the craziest thing ever, and it's this guy who's got literally these people. I mean, at this point, everyone thinks hostage.
Yes.
He comes on with an hour long, and people were probably changing the channel. How boring it was.
that? I don't know. I
He
would
was
have
just
watched it out
preaching.
of curiosity.
Well, I would have for like 20 minutes and be
Yeah.
like, maybe he'll say something crazy, but it's just rambling on, and they just shit on it. After.
They did.
The second they got Brian Gumble on there, he's talking shit. Everyone was like, it was just rambling. I mean, it was nothing profound, you know.
No, it wasn't.
Everyone was thinking he's gonna say something crazy, but no, he should have talked about what happened more. But he was just reading from the Bible. You know, you can go get on that on Sunday for free.
Yeah.
You don't gotta walk and watch that shit.
It's true.
So later on, Gary talks to Jacob, the guy who went under, and the guy he warned everyone, said, "Don't go. They're waiting for you."
Yeah.
That guy gets shit on more than anyone.
He does.
The ATF guy just screws him over. Remember, he's saying they didn't know anything about coming in or whatever. So he talks to him, and he gives Gary the video. Right, so because he wants to know what actually happened, because David's talking about them murdering him. So he gets the fucking video, and I guess he kind of sees everything. But David doesn't come out after the video airs.
No, he does not.
Because he looks like an idiot now.
Yeah.
He just looks stupid. If they had a thing where it was like a little fake thing where after they showed the video, everyone was like, that was so cool. Like, good job. He would have came out. Would have been super cool, but didn't happen. So they hold a press conference at ATF and FBI recapping the events of the raid and playing an audio tape, just like David promised. And they all pack their shit. They're like, okay, because not Mark, but the guy, the cuck. He's like
Peter Sparks, which is Steve.
The guy who pretty much runs the
second
everything.
in charge. Yeah.
Well, second in charge, but David's not really running the businesses and the food.
He's got everyone else doing that.
He's more of a Walt Disney.
Yeah, he's kind of fucking wives and,
He walks around the park once in a while. I mean, he'll fuck your wife.
Right.
But he's not filing taxes.
No, he's not.
He's not doing the
He's
1099.
Man,
Yeah,
he's got one mission.
He's got nothing. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, so they're going to escort everything out. But like you said, the statement doesn't happen.
No.
David says, no, we ain't leaving because I had another message from God. Wait 1 second.
Oh.
What's this, God?
God?
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
Oh, you want me to do that? Oh, you want me to fuck more guys' wives? Okay, God,
perfect.
I got you.
I need more time?
Yeah. And then he says, yeah, we're waiting for another event, kind of.
It's like, God? Well, what the fuck? It's Ballstein from Zoolander.
No, it's Maury Ballstein. But, yeah, and then... But it's bad because it looks bad for Gary, the guy who wants it peaceful. Because now they're like, okay, now you got to let me do my thing.
Well, and then Mitch and the head FBI guy, they're just freaking out now. They're like, he went back on his word.
The head FBI guy, do you recognize what he's from?
The first season of True Detective, and he's in fucking everything.
Do you know that is how he got his start? His first role as True Detective.
You're kidding me.
They found him in just a casting for that role. He plays the bad guy. He's fucking
he does.
awesome.
He's awesome in it. Creepy too.
He's in everything though now. You're
Glenn
right.
Fletcher.
He was in
Fleshler.
Last thing we saw him in was Joker.
Yes, he was in Joker as well.
Plays the guy who gives him one. But yeah,
Randall. He played Randall in Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives him everything. But
he's in Barry too. Remember?
I know he's fucking in a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because he's so good, people saw him immediately.
He is good. And they realized, okay, this guy's a talent. Why is he not working all the time?
But him and fucking True Detective, he plays the perfect villain for that.
Yeah, it was really good.
But that is the end of episode 3. The Branch Davidians, they ain't coming out.
Nope.
That's it. That's how. I mean, that's what's your prediction?
You know what? Based on everything, I'm going to say it's a nice, peaceful ending.
I think so too.
I think everyone's going to fall in love. I think the world will be a better place. I think Thibodeau and Michelle will have a happy ending.
Yep.
They'll continue on with their marriage. They'll have many children and live a happy life.
Most of the FBI agents will probably end up joining the Branch Davidians.
And realizing that they've got a lot of things in common, too. I mean,
and this
maybe
guy's
not the
saying some
children
good
bride
stuff.
or anything like that, but, you know, they like guns. Both sides like guns. They shoot guns. You know?
I shoot guns.
I shoot guns.
I shoot people.
guns.
You shoot people. We got so much in common. Yeah, there's I don't know. It's a crazy event. I do love seeing anything about it though and reading about it.
Yeah, the history of it's fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing that scares the government more than a group of people governing themselves.
Good point.
There's nothing. You don't want another government. I mean,
hey, look, we are we can handle
we'll
governing.
take care of you.
We'll take care of that. You're not allowed to.
But but it's hard to rely on a government when they've failed countless times, and we've seen it so many times. So I can see why some people kind of fucking stock up a lot of guns and are scared that the government might
have buckets of like 10-year food supplies.
Yeah.
But
because look at Randy Weaver, man. Yeah, he was doing something illegal. He sold a shotgun that's was 2 inches too short.
Right, but that's not
so they
a
killed his
justification
family.
to shoot his whole family. Yeah, it seems a little much.
Well, it was, and he got $3.1 million for that, which is not, I would say, even near enough.
No, not for having your 13-year-old son shot, your friend shot, and your wife shot.
That just ruined. You never hear about Randy Weaver.
Nope.
He didn't go on to be Dancing in the Stars or anything like that.
No, he did not.
It just ruined his fucking life. But again, they were kind of crazy too.
Yeah,
they believed in some wild things.
They did.
As well, but it's not against the law.
No, it's not.
It's not against the law. I mean, if you can't do it here, where can you do it? You know, America.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Be as crazy as you want.
Yeah.
Just don't stockpile guns and
Just don't. Yeah.
Don't have 14-year-old wives.
No.
I
don't think that's a law anywhere in the United States now. I think it's completely obsolete. I think it's all. Well, I would hope
maybe
so.
Florida.
Florida or I don't know, Georgia or something like that.
Sure. Georgia might be putting it on the books now. Recently, they're
we
gotta add this in here.
Yeah,
we're going just backwards in time over in Georgia, but I mean that's crazy. But they did just change that law 5 years ago.
Crazy. You figured right after something like this, you go, oh yeah, maybe we should change the law.
You figure in 1950 when it's we don't got to marry at 13 because people aren't dying at 20
Well, yeah,
anymore.
I mean, it should have literally been law 200-300 years ago. But I mean, especially when it's in the the limelight, this whole story, and then you realize, my God, this is still a law in Texas.
It probably would. It probably would still be a law had Waco not happened.
No, I know.
So I mean, you got So who knows? It's an interesting thing. If you haven't read or learned about it, go. It's a great piece of America because again, one event transpired so many other events, and why we have so many military groups and guys with guns because of this shit.
Militias,
militias exactly. Well, that's it. That's all I got for Waco Part 1. We will do Waco Part 2 next week.
Yep. Well, episodes 4 through 6, that is what we'll do next week. This is our TV Tuesday edition, TVT for short. Thanks for watching, guys.
I like that.
Or listening, whatever, podcast. You guys know the deal. Social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. You can find our podcast on all audio formats, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. We're dropping videos 2 times a day, every single day on our channel. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. My name's Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause. And until next time.
Bye.